Yeah, you can call me Paul.
Hey, good morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. How about yourself?
Good, thanks.
How do I pronounce your name? Yao Kun?
Yeah, my name that's my full name. Just call me. I go by Yao.
Yao. All right.
Yeah,
Easy to remember. Nice to meet you, Yao.
yeah, you too.
All right. Well, thanks for replying. Thanks for accepting the invite to meet with me. Much appreciated. I've had a chance to go over just now your application and your CV. So maybe as a start, maybe take a minute or so to tell me about yourself, the highlights, the elevator pitch, if you will.
Okay, and yeah, before I get into myself, thanks, Paul, for your time today interviewing me and the reach out. And I'm currently a software development engineer at Button Incorporation, which is a agency company, a consulting software compounding company, which builds software for the clients, mostly on the web development. And occasionally there could be a data science project, also DevOps stuff for DevOps stuff, mostly CI/CD stuff for also the infrastructure, cloud infrastructure, mostly for my team, and also that's could be across other different projects as well. And yeah, so that's a little bit of what I've been doing.
Great.
It's a small team. I think only 20, 30 people in the entire company.
Are
Four or
you a team
five.
lead?
What was that?
Are you a team lead? Are you
I'm
acting as a team lead?
Well, there's no assigned team lead. Everybody share a little bit of responsibility given the team is so small. I'm
Mhm.
responsible for the back end and also for the cloud stuff. Occasionally, I will jump into the front end. It depends on the front end person's availability. I can do a little bit of that as well.
Okay.
Um, but my specialty is gonna be back end, also cloud infrastructure and CI/CD stuff.
All
And
right.
also after work, I'm a part-time student at Georgia Tech, a computer science, a master's degree. Yeah, so that's a little bit of myself.
Great. 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 How you like living out in Vancouver?
Yeah, it's pretty nice here. We just moved here, I think, 2 years ago. We were from Alberta originally.
I saw. Yeah. Did you work for AMA or you just did a project there?
I work for AMA a little bit. It's a contract at the very beginning. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we did some really cool things with them in our InsurTech line of business.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I saw your Kaggle and the stuff you did on the insurance side of things. It's interesting, definitely interesting for part of our business. Okay, tell me about your experience. Let's go right into it. Do you recall all the tech stack that we mentioned in the opening?
I think so. I think you guys use Firebase heavily, right? And on top,
Yes, we're very committed.
yeah, and on top, you guys using I think Node.js as your backend.
Yeah, TypeScript, Node.js for Cloud Functions. We're fully serverless. There's one app engine up, but it's only to keep a UDP socket alive for some telemetry ingestion we need to make. The rest is full serverless, full NoSQL with data pipelines going into Cloud SQL for geospatial queries we need to make and such. We're starting another pipeline into BigQuery to be able to do a bit more analytics. Deeply tied down to two external systems: Stripe for billing, HubSpot for our CRM. We have and our entire front end stack is Flutter, Dart, Flutter. So it's Google end to end, GCP, Firebase, Flutter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's your experience in that stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, my experience. Yeah, my experience is I work with a Node. So you mentioned about some couple of keywords on my Node. NoSQL. Yeah, I know I work with NoSQL. In one of my prior projects, key value storage and document storage within the Firebase. And right now I'm mostly on SQL relational Postgres, but I understand that NoSQL is more scalable compared to NoSQL. But the downside will be the relationship maybe depends on the application. And BigQuery, yeah, I heard about it. I haven't used that heavily. I think I know that this is a very quick and fast way to query a massive amount of live stream data. And HubSpot,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this one is mostly for salespeople using for managing their clients. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
GCP. and heavily on GCP like Cloud SQL and GKE and Kubernetes stuff, and also GCE for the virtual machine stuff. Yeah.
Tell me
And
about
also cost.
your CI/CD pipelines. You said you built some pretty sophisticated ones. So tell me about one that uses Google, if any, and mobile apps. Like how do you get from your actual repo all the way to your IPA, APK? Is it fully? Have you ever built a fully automated one? Tell me about that.
Yeah, CI/CD. Well, there are two components here: continuous integration and also continuous deployment. And
Hmm.
mostly, the CI/CD stuff is building within the GitHub Actions. So whenever after the code has been tested, and then
Hmm.
we'll push to the production environment, and then the CI/CD will be triggered and running a whole bunch of testing in the CI component. So, for example, the end-to-end test, let's say playwright test, also unit test, whole bunch of tests to make sure that the code is good. And then after pass all the tests, and it will pass on to the deployment pipeline, and then it will punch to, let's say, it could be a GKE, it could be a GCE, depending on how do we want to deploy it, and then it will automatically hook up to IAM, and then you will trigger a robot, and then we override all the code base, and then the IP address will be will be updated, connected to the latest code base.
Okay. All right. Cool. What tech stack or what cloud environment are you most familiar with? GCP, Azure, AWS?
Definitely GCP.
Okay. All right. When would you build serverless versus dedicated VMs and a Dockerized server environment?
When I think that's part of my daily job now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when do you make the choice to go one way or the other? What are the
Uh,
considerations you make?
Yeah, so here's this interesting story. And Button, my current company, they are a Google Cloud partner,
Okay.
so that's why they went ahead with it. And I personally, I like AWS a lot because given the community support and also all the resources are available, I did
Yeah.
a lot of some of my personal project within AWS, but GCP mostly because they are Google Cloud partners. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, why are you looking? Why are you looking for work elsewhere if you're gainfully employed?
Well, yeah. So, the team has been pretty nice to me. A small team, and also has a lot of energy. But I'm looking for more growth in myself, and also they are adapting. Oh, this is a Toronto-based company. They are
Okay.
adapting a more hybrid kind of model. And I I have a grandma sick in the bed that I need to check in with her on a daily basis, occasionally during the day. So
Okay.
that's why it's becoming a difficult choice between the work and the family.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
understand. So they wanted you to come to Toronto?
well, the majority of the team is in Toronto, and
Okay.
yeah, I'm the only person who is in the west side of the coast, and
Understood.
well, my boss really want to keep me, but you kind of create some unfairness for the rest of other team members. So that's why
Okay.
they're hinting that I might have to go to Toronto. They haven't decided for my specific case yet. So
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. So if you had a magic wand, what's the next gig you pick up? What are the things you're looking for?
Well, do I want to do the things I enjoy? Definitely, right? And also some of the flexibility I mentioned about my constraint. Hopefully, when the next job will offer some of the flexibility that allows me to, balance between work and life. And yeah, but totally, I work more than 40 hours a week. I can tell you that because just I just need to check in my grandma on a on a daily basis during the day. So that's
Okay.
why.
Okay. 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 Got that. Um, so what are your salary expectations?
I well, I'm flexible at this point. I mean, as long as it's consistent with the market, also based on my experience and what I can contribute, and yeah, I'm happy.
Okay. What are you earning now?
Is there any? So what's the budget around this role?
Well, that's a good question. So I'll tell you a little bit about our team just to give you some context. So I'm the founder CEO, and the company has been in business since 1995. So it's got many, many, many years. I've done 3 spin-offs from the business over those years, 3 IPOs on the public stock exchange, on Toronto Exchange. This time around, the business is probably going to go public itself in probably a year. I've built over 25 years, many SaaS projects in different verticals and sectors, as you may have seen on our website. And I've really spent the past 3.5 years retooling and rebuilding everything on Google Cloud. So I went away from a monolithic AWS hosted kind of dedicated instance of pretty old technology. I mean, some of the stuff was written almost 12, some of it 15 years ago. So it was an old kind of monolithic MVC framework. So I've rebuilt an entire team, really. I've lost a lot of my guys on the old team because they went and found great jobs as architects at Amazon, very well-paying jobs. And when I said, hey, we're going to Google, I made that turn a little too fast. I lost some people. So I started building a new team. So now we're pretty virtual. I have an office. I own a building here in Montreal. But since COVID, I rented it out. I subleased it, and I went full virtual. We were always very virtual. And now we're very, very virtual. So we're about a team of 10 right now, developers. I opened a position for 2 backend devs, as I usually do on international sourcing platforms. We use Upwork quite a bit for staff augmentation. And this time around, I figured, I'll try opening it on our regular HR systems here in Canada. It's been a while since I've opened something up in Canada. I wasn't expecting, but I had like over 100 applicants. Like really, the market's completely changed. I was very surprised. So to long answer to your question, what is the salary expectation? Well, I'm really looking at, what can I get for, what cost? I'm about $3 million of my own capital invested in this project. So I'm far more, I guess, I'm far closer to my budgets and my spend than I used to be. I was pleasantly surprised for the caliber that I can get at the prices that people are asking. So that's why I'm asking you, like, what are your expectations? I mean, I know what you're worth, and I'm sure you can get a great job tomorrow morning in your sphere, in your back end experience. I'm 2-3 days into this, and I've got like 5, 6, 7 calls a day. Like, it's just crazy the amount of people that I've scheduled. I pressed on too many people to meet. You stand out. I got to be honest with you. I really like your background. So that's why I ask. What is it you're expecting, so that I can make a good decision based on kind of the other applicants that I've spoken with that are probably a little younger than you, a little less experienced than you, but I do have a lot of senior on my team as well to get them up to speed. So I want to be opportunistic, and I want to be fair. And to be very honest, with the IPO, I want ideally to find people who, aren't in it just for the hourly wage, that take the time to look into what we're doing and want to kind of, at your age, you're not that old, get into an opportunity that has potentially some significant upside as you're young and it's time to kind of do those things. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sort of. And
I mean, I've been paying my backend devs, my senior backend devs. I've got some at $20 an hour US, so like $25 an hour, $28 Canadian. I'm not saying that's the budget I'd have to hire a full-time Canadian employee. I know that it's a different scale, but that's what I've been doing for a while, and it's working really well. And now I've got some that are, applying and saying, okay, I'm willing. But what's the bonus? What's the upside? What's the stock option? And what's, those things, given that I'm pretty far ahead in in my IPO process now.
So $20 dollar per hour. So this is on a wage basis.
Yeah. Well, it has been, right? On Upwork, that's what I'm paying, 20 US. But I'd say I would easily, be able to have budget for that in Canadian dollars on a full-time employee basis. Like I'm looking for a full-time, 1 or 2 full-time employees for sure in Canada with a salary, with a, like not Upwork, not contractual. I'm looking for an employee. Definitely looking for 1 or 2 employees.
Okay, allow me to do a little bit of conversion. 20, as long as I don't have the context. 428 times 40. So around $58,000 a year.
Yeah, let me do the conversion with you. So
Or
27.
Are you looking at like a even shorter term than, but you mentioned about full-time employee.
Yeah, it's full-time. It's full-time. It's full-time, 40 hours a week. We can be flexible. We have a lot of people working internationally, so we don't have like a 9 to 5. I've got guys in Egypt. I've got some in Brazil. I've got some in Africa. Like there's people everywhere. It's a great little family. And so long as everybody sort of gives their availability 2 weeks ahead of time, we have a little sort of calendar system, and okay, people can schedule calls with others, and we have a good cadence, and we're not a consulting agency. We're not like always after the next project and starting, bare metal up, or, we're an evergreen project. Our product has launched. We're a SaaS supplier to GovTech, InsurTech. So yeah, we have a lot of stability in that sense. And we have a lot of core, I guess, capabilities. Like I said, I'm about $3 million into the investment on a very clean stack with a very solid CI/CD process with, very few moving parts. It's GCP, Firebase, 1 mono repo for front and back with 3 different delivery pipelines because we don't always deliver at the same time. Yeah, so your internal clients are basically front-end people. I've got 6 front-end full-time, and so your clients are front-ends either waiting for evolution of the NoSQL models, tweaking of the security rules, and now building some data pipelines, improving some of the auth processes we have, integrating some tighter API tie downs to Stripe and HubSpot, and so on and so forth. So it's a nice clean job. Something you can get sink your teeth into for a long time and really make your own, versus just build and ship and then pick up the next website, build and ship. It depends if that's something you're looking for.
Well, yeah, the tech stack sounds very exciting. Yeah. Also, you also mentioned about the structure of your team and 10 developers. How many of them from front end, and how was the distribution across the responsibilities?
Great question. So 2 back end full-time dedicated, but I lost my main guy, in Egypt. I lost him because he was starting a little sideline with all the nice money we were paying him in Egypt. We were paying him good wages, and then very quickly it became he's like, I gotta go. I've got too many clients and the world's on fire. So he gave me very little notice. It kind of left me in a bit of trouble, but it's beautifully written. The stack is clean, it's clear, but still a year and a half of intense work with him. There was a lot of knowledge there. He's still around and he wants to help do a good transition. So that's why now I'm looking for the right people to sort of make sure that we have the good transition happening, and he'll be around still, but not like he used to be. I had another guy who's still on the team, Ian. He's out of Saskatchewan, actually, Canadian. But he's more of almost an inventor. He's almost a daydreamer. He goes on the craziest tangents sometimes. So he's not the guy that I can really rely on to sort of take over from my lead. So that's what made me open the position. And then I've got 6 on Flutter, 2 of which are full stack. So I've got 2 full stack Flutter down to, Node.js Cloud Functions and NoSQL data modeling on the server. And I've got another 4 that are really focused Flutter only, working on the front end. But, my front end team is very, very intimate with the back end because we went with the Firebase approach. So it's not like we have to build an SQL and then we have to build APIs and then the front end can consume them and they build box in the meantime. That's why I made this transition to Firebase. I said, wow, no more APIs. you know. So and I'm very happy with the choice that I made. It's fantastic. It's really, really a nice structure. So 4 dedicated front, 2 full stack, 2 dedicated back, but I need probably 2 new dedicated back now. So there's two positions.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. So this one is dedicated on the back end. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is really aligned with what I wanted to do, and it was also aligned with what I have been doing. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with the technology. And also, no, in addition to the number you mentioned, I also value also I need the flexibility from the role. My work hour is beyond 8 to 5. It's like across evenings or even sometimes over the weekend. I can guarantee you I work more than 40 hours, and really it's pretty scattered across my schedule. Really depends on, but I will jump on the meetings for sure, and I will get my job done for sure. I can guarantee you. My my current supervisor is very happy with what I'm doing, and my clients loves me. But because the problem is the reason I'm here, you create unfairness for the rest of the team. That's why HR tap on my folder, say, "Hey, we are considering such. We really
Okay.
want to keep you, but and that's the
Okay.
reason why I'm here with you." And also you mentioned about the number 58,000. Right? If sounds like that's within your budget, right? This is something that you might want to pay for the next developer, and yeah, given those
And that would be to start, honestly, Yao. I think you're worth more. Like there's going to be a learning curve. We're going to be investing in you at first to learn our stuff. The value add won't be there, and every dollar counts. And then eventually, we're pre-revenue still, but we're so close. We're starting to do the fine tuning of our implementations for 3-4 big cities. We're running Montreal Airport now on our platform. They're starting to pay. So we're close, and then we're lining up the IPO. And I've done this before, right? So yeah, I don't want you to think that that's the offer and you're going to be stuck at that rate. I mean, we got to pay market. Now I'm looking for entrepreneurial people willing to jump in and take a bit of a risk, learn. We've got a lot to offer, I think, to anybody who's going to join our team because of how much we've invested in the stack. And I'm sure we're going to, if we make the right choice, we'll learn a lot from the right contributors as well. But it's got to be more than money. We are flexible. We are understanding of, what's happening with your grandmother. We have different time zones already. We're not, I'm the CEO, and we're not into corporate sort of HR. Well, you got a little more than the rest, so on forward. No, you're measured on your merit. You're measured on what you bring, and we're very flexible around when and how you can work. It's just part of our DNA because our team is globally distributed.
Okay, yeah, that's good to hear. Can I consider it? I have to bring the number back to my family because it's gonna be well, honestly, it's a little bit decreased, but I really love the tip that you described, and also the tech step you described.
Well, if we move forward, I'd make you an offer that would be, it would have a start and it would have an evolution. I mean, honestly, I don't expect you to just accept at this rate, and I'd have to put together an offer that would be good for you in the short, medium, and long term as well. Like, in fairness to you, I don't want you to have to take a haircut necessarily for the long term, or feel that you may have to. That wouldn't be a really good way to start a business relationship.
And also, if I want to take the role, I'm not gonna work there for a few months and then leave, right? I want to leave. I work there for longer term.
That's my biggest decision right now. I need the next few hires are absolutely critical because we're really going from pre-prod to prod, and it's a whole other mindset. Dev is one thing, but run is another. And yeah, I can't have turnover. I mean, people are always free to leave, and you have to plan for the best and plan for the worst and hope for the best. But that's magic to my ears to hear that you want to be part of something that for the long term, because that's very important for me now because of where we are.
Exactly. So I want to grow with the company, and so you mentioned about the exciting opportunity around IPO, and so
Yes.
can you expand from the IPO? So how would the world look like after IPO? Are you still be around leading a team, or
Oh
how
God,
would
yeah.
the team
I'm not going
meeting?
anywhere. God forbid I can't keep going for my health reasons or whatever. But no, I'm not going anywhere. For us, our IPO is I've done several, so it's not an exit. It's because we sell to governments. We need to be, whiter than white, super credible, very transparent in our governance, in our finances, in our management structure, with a very strong board of directors, with very clear visibility as to where we are financially. And so with that level of scrutiny, it's just easier to be public and to be a publicly reporting issuer, so that when governments look at us and say, because we have a division in the US as well, 5 blocks away from the White House in Washington, D.C., we're planning on launching in the US as well very soon. So it's just easier to be a publicly reporting issuer and say, here, go on CDAR, go, check us out. Here's our financials. We're not looking at having a major dilution in this. We're not needing to raise a ton of money either. We're borderline profitable. Like, that's why I want to be very tight on what I'm spending, because I'm so close to break even right now. I want to maintain it and get it so that when I do my IPO, it's like, yeah, we're not desperate for cash. We're already, cash flow positive, and we're thousands of dollars away from it right now. So that's why I'm very, 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 I'm at that point now. But I've built businesses that I've brought IPOs over 100, $200 million.
So that this 58,000 budget that will align with your goal that you're aiming for the cash flow. I assume it.
100%. Yes.
100%. Okay.
Yeah, looking at your experience, looking at your background. I haven't checked out your code. I haven't, but I'm looking at, face value of everything you're saying you've done at that price. Yes, absolutely. Because I feel that you would very quickly pick up the stack, take care of some issues that we've got. You're comfortable in TypeScript, JavaScript, Node.js. You seem fairly proficient in, NoSQL, SQL, the GCP stack. Yeah, that would, I think that would fit in the budget for sure. Because I'm getting, like, I hired another one a little sporadically, brilliant young guy. And I took an opportunity. I said, oh, you know what? Okay, start. Because he's finishing now. He's young and brilliant, but he's working a retail job, and he's working like minimum wage. I'm like, oh gosh, come on, I'll take you on. So beyond, a little bit beyond minimum wage, and he too has a plan to grow and expand as well. He's out of London, Ontario. So I've already got one, and I've got a few others that I still need to interview. I've had some great applicants, honestly. I've got another full stack that's brilliant as well. So I might end up hiring a little bit more than I even wanted, because it's like baking a cake. There's a recipe, but then when you're a real chef, you got a few ingredients, you got to try them out and see how it goes. So it's not a solid answer, but I'm the entrepreneur. I own the budget. I own the bank. It's my money, and I'm trying to build the team right now. So, that's why I need to try to keep the costs as low as possible in the short term. Maybe give me that flexibility to make the magic recipe of the right 2, 3, right now coming in. Launch. We're so close to scaling. Money's not a problem. You know what I mean? We're already starting to grow now. So it's this pinch right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, as I mentioned, Paul, so I'm very excited when I hear about your team and also the project, also the tech stack. I need to get the money and then discuss with my family, and then I really want to work with you guys. I have to check with my family, and then it's not my own decision sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. No, I understand. It sounds like you're supporting your family.
Yeah.
I understand that. It makes me proud. There's a few others on the team in India and Pakistan that, are the breadwinners for their family as well. So, we take it pretty seriously. There's people are counting on us, so
yeah.
I understand that situation you're in.
I will consider, of course, they can fit in your budget. You need to be comfortable, and then I really want to help you grow your company to an IPO status. And secondly, I also understand that need to be fair within your team as well, right? You have an international team, and then you have people different wages, and I would definitely consider those.
Okay. Well, listen, I really appreciate it, and like I said, I'll get you pretty shortly with kind of the next steps. I've got a few other interviews to do. So when I have a sense of the general sort of final ingredients for this cake we're baking, I'll get back to you like no later than beginning of next week at the latest, just to give everybody that I've booked, the time to speak with me and see how it goes. And if it's positive, and well, unless something really happens, like I said, I really I have a really good feeling already. But there'll be a second interview with my CRO, and we'd make a formal written offer that would, that you and your family would find acceptable before making a leap, because you're currently employed. There's others who are applying who are not. So I was able to be opportunistic and say, well, if you're not gainfully employed or properly or underemployed, but I understand you have something. And so I'm conscious of that too. And I want you to take undue risk or undue, decrease of, earnings for you and your family for no reason either. I'm very conscious of that.
Thank you. And a couple of questions before I let you go. And the second interview with the CRO, is it going to be a technical interview? Do I have to prepare for anything? Or just a culture fit?
Culture fit. My CRO is my age. He's semi-retired. He's VP actuary at Intact, Canada's largest insurance company. He went down to California for 3 years to help them turn around a. Oh, hang on one second. Can you give me just 1 second?
Yeah,
okay,
of course.
Hello. Sorry, it's my my dog's veterinarian to confirm a meeting tomorrow. Okay, so I'm sorry. Yeah, where were we?
Oh, you mentioned about you have a CRO partner, and he's an actual.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he's it's a culture thing. He's not the tech guy, but he's been with me for almost 1.5 years, so he understands as much as I do almost on the tech. He's managing a lot of the sort of product requirements with the dev team. He is my professional manager. I'm more kind of, hands off on the management side on the day-to-day, more focused on the strategy, the vision, and the funding. So yeah, you'd meet with him, but no, there's no technical test or anything. It's more of a culture call. And given that you've worked on the Craggle thing you did, and I'm sure he'll want to pick your brains a little bit about that for sure. He's an actuary.
I studied actuarial science and some mathematics when I was in university.
Okay, he's going to be very.
I built a little bit of actuarial software for the Workers' Compensation Board at Alberta.
Okay.
And, that actually was my original background, but I found more interest in software development. That's why I drift my career path to.
Okay.
Yeah, feel free. I mean, I would love to.
He did the opposite, actually. After 25 years of doing actuarial, he's now with me in kind of a tech shop, and he went from the actuarial into the software. So kind of like you. Yeah, you just did it faster.
That was my background. I was originally from math and actuarial, and then I found more interest in the software development area.
That's great to know.
Yeah,
that's really good to know, because there's a big part of our revenue that is InsurTech. Like, we still do InsurTech as well. So usage-based insurance and all of the variable billing.
Business, do you guys do like a PNC or life insurance? What kind of insurance?
We're much more on the PNC side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that actually is my background. But if you have life insurance, and I can help you with that as well.
Okay. Now we're more PNC, TPL, BI, physical damage, really car insurance, commercial lines. We've built telemetry systems that allow insurers to set. We're like Stripe for insurance. We allow insurers to create a monthly bill to their policyholders based on the miles they drove, the safety of each mile, the region of each mile based on rating zones, and external factors such as weather and things like that. So yeah, we're a usage-based real-time monthly billing system, taking allowing insurers to rate based on actual risk, incursion of the risk.
That actually very aligned with what I was doing for AMA.
Well, we did a project with AMA for that.
That's very aligned. To be honest with you, if there's a chance, I can help you with a little bit of actuarial analysis, data stuff, pricing, and I can be part of that as well, and then just
Super.
bring in my little bit of experience. And so that's the first question. And second question is what's your expected timeline for the new role?
Oh, like I said, I've got to make my decision and offers next week, or latest next week.
So how soon I need to tell my employer if I sign the offer? That's my
I'm assuming you'd have, if you were to accept, you'd probably need to give 2 weeks notice.
Yeah, that's on the contract. Yeah. A little bit more, that will be about flexibility because the team has been really well for me, really nice for me, and I need to be responsible for my clients as well. So,
and I'm assuming that if that's the case, then during that transition period, we'd be sending you a bit of information. You'd be able to start, consuming a bit of information around what we're doing as well. So yeah, then out of respect, I mean, I expect 2 weeks when someone leaves. I have no problem making sure that everybody who joins gives their 2 weeks to others as well.
Yeah, I appreciate those flexibility, and so that's all the question I have, and I do have one more request before I let you go.
Certainly.
I know where we go over time now, and in a case if I'm not fortunate enough to be selected, I still hope that you can give me some constructive feedback about me as a applicant, and also my interview process, just so that I can be a better person for the next time. I appreciate those feedback. Thank you.
I guarantee you'll hear back from me with all the feedback you can expect.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much. I'll be in touch with you shortly.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.